Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh, and in this video, we shall continue the government schemes in health sector. This is the second and final video in this sector, and we will quickly revise what we studied in the first video because second video takes off from where we left in the first video. So we covered two different types of government schemes. One was related to institutional and infrastructure building, and the second one was related to the individual intervention by the government, right? This is for the sake of memorizing it. So individual based was National Health Mission, under which the urban and rural components were there. We are talking of National Health Mission, right? Initiated in the year 2013. And the institutional and infrastructure intervention, we are talking of two schemes under Ayushman Bharat, right? So the two schemes were, one, the Jan Aushadhi Yojana, right? So we are talking of insurance, health insurance, and the second one was the Health and Wellness Center, 1.5 lakh in number. Now, to be able to monitor the implementation of all these projects throughout the whole country for all people, do we not need a place where we can log the data? Who has been given what medication, what time, who's the doctor who has prescribed this? Is this not required to know before giving them another medication? Yes, all this is important. And that is why we have initiated the National Digital Health Mission. All the records of every individual will be digitized. Now, initially, the idea is not to make it mandatory to link this to Aadhaar card and every individual's data. So people will not be carrying these polythene cards and x-rays in polythenes to hospitals. Now, every data will be digitized. We are talking of the medicines that people take, medicines. We are talking of the doctor's prescription that we are talking of. We are talking of the past consultations and surgeries and inpatient department, everything. So that when the person goes for the next diagnosis, the whole history of that person is available at the disposal of doctor. Yes, only after the approval of that particular patient. So who are the stakeholders? The government are the stakeholders. NGOs are stakeholders. Those corporate bodies which are designing this digital health mission ecosystem are stakeholders. Then the person themselves, the patient themselves are stakeholder, and labs, hospital, clinics, all of them, right? Paramedicals also. The main idea always has been to make health efficient, accessible, inclusive, affordable, timely and safe for usage, right? So this is the main vision for all the government schemes. And this is why this National Digital Health Mission was also initiated. And this was an initiative in which a 14-digit number will be linked with the Aadhaar card, right? Unique digital health IDs. Okay. Now, if we have created this database, do we not need to give them medicines? Yes. Medicines and vaccinations are the second part. We will cover 4 of these schemes very, very quickly. So the first important scheme is Mission Indradhanush. This is again under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And most of the schemes are under this ministry, apart from 1 or 2 schemes, very tricky, which can be under some other ministry. We will cover that shortly. So the main idea here has been to immunize the pregnant ladies and to immunize small children under the age of 2. Why? Because these pregnant ladies are the one which if not immunized, can make their children also vulnerable. So if they get some infection and if tetanus vaccination has not been given, then they will transfer this particular issue, this particular disease to child as well. So therefore, these type of vaccinations are given to pregnant ladies and children, right? Now, this Mission Indradhanush was launched way back in 2013-14. And later, this scheme, earlier it was for those particular areas, those around 200 districts where there was intense requirement for immunization. But later, this Mission Indradhanush was expanded to the whole country. And now the main idea has been to ensure that those areas which have not been covered, they be covered. What are we talking of? We are talking of the slum areas. We are talking of those pakka, kacha huts which are located in isolation in village areas, those places which have been ignored in the past. So all those will be covered. Also, one very important thing is, during COVID times, vaccination did not happen for small children. It did not happen for pregnant ladies. So they need to be covered right now. We are not talking of COVID vaccination. We are talking of the general vaccination that was done for small children. When we were also small, we were given this vaccination. So those vaccination must be covered right now urgently. This is the main program. And it will be also monitored by the central government directly under Pragati portal. The second scheme very much related to Mission Indradhanush is Universal Immunization Program. All the children will have to be immunized against 12 vaccine preventable diseases. 12 vaccine preventable diseases in various steps of vaccination. So dosage and then booster dosage will be given. There are times when a heptavalent vaccine is also used. So one vaccination and 5 diseases are already covered inside that particular vaccine. What are the 12 diseases we are talking of? You would have heard all of these diseases. We are talking of tuberculosis, diphtheria, tetanus, hepatitis, polio, Japanese encephalitis, pneumonia, etc. Now, all these 12 vaccine preventable diseases, they are not prevalent throughout the country. So therefore, some of these diseases are applicable only for specific area. So do remember, are these programs for 12 vaccination VPDs, are these programs running across the whole country for all 12 diseases? No is the answer. No, it is not. So universal immunization program is to immunize all the children against all the diseases that are prevalent in those areas, right? Now, there is a portal called as eVIN portal, which manages how to handle the supply chain. So this is the eVIN portal. eVIN portal is about the Electronic Vaccine Intelligence Network Survey. So through this, any person will be able to understand what is the shortfall of vaccines in a particular vaccination center. What is the surplus at some particular place? So supply chain is handled properly in time, right? So this provides a real-time feedback of stock, power outage, temperature fluctuations, specifically because vaccines have to be kept at certain temperature, and therefore this is a very, very sensitive information for that particular center. A very good initiative by the government. This is a part of universal immunization program since 2015. Now, a very next scheme related to eVIN is the CoWIN. So what are we talking of? COVID-WIN portal, right? So corona vaccination is through CoWIN registrations. And now it has been extended for the on-the-spot registration also for people, right? Earlier it was only online registration. Which ministry? Same ministry. Same ministry as all the other schemes as of now. So one alliance called as Gavi. So we are talking of Global Alliance for Vaccination and Immunization. This alliance of bodies, it tries to procure vaccinations from those countries which have vaccine surplus, and it tries to give it to those countries which have vaccine deficit. So do remember Gavi. India's portal, CoWIN, is to streamline vaccination management for COVID in the country, right? So this is the CoWIN portal. And the last one that we discussed today is Pradhanmantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana, right? So this scheme is for Jan, people, Aushadhi, medicine, Pariyojana, right? So it's a master scheme for people to be able to afford the Aushadhi medicines. So we are talking of affordable medicines. Affordable medicines largely are the generic medicines, right? So generic medicine distribution to people has to be done through Pradhanmantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana. So look at the objective, very simple, to make available quality generic medicines and affordable prices to all. What is the ministry? Look at this catch. These are chemicals, but they are distributed under Health and Family Welfare Ministry, right? But these are chemicals, and therefore creation of this management of all these drugs has to be under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Department of Fertilizers. So we are talking of Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizer. Do remember this. This is one of the common mistakes people do in exams. This happens even despite knowing the fact that this is under Ministry of Chemicals. Because in times of hurry, nervousness, people by mistake go ahead and take another ministry in place of Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. So do make a very specific note of this part. Now, what are the features of the scheme? The feature, this is a direct market intervention scheme. And there is an attached scheme called as Pradhanmantri Jan Aushadhi Kendra. So establishment of these kendras, that means places where distribution will be done, they are associated with the government hospital. So just aside the government hospital, will there be a kendra for distribution of such medicines, right? This is one. Then it has to be administered under the state government. All these schemes have to be administered under the state government. Next to understand is who can be a part of the scheme. That means who can be running these kendras. So any person with a minimum experience of 3 years in welfare activities, entrepreneurs, pharmacists, doctors can run this scheme at their places, right? So we are talking of the kendras where this scheme is run. These are the 4 important schemes that we just covered related to medicine. Most of them related to immunization and medication. However, one of them was regarding the digital health ecosystem. This is where we come to the conclusion of the health schemes. Some of the schemes which are specific to women and child development will be covered under women and child issues. So, see you forward in the next series of government schemes. Thanks for watching.